Polymorphism in OOP point of view. Actually, polymorphism means having many forms. It means implement the same functionality in different ways. There are two types of polymorphism. They are compile time, we called overloading, and runtime, we called overriding. To implement runtime polymorphism, we need inheritance. In inherited class hierarchy, we can override parents' methods inside child class as we wanted. We do that normally if we want to change the way parent do the relevant functionality. Here we do not change the method signature anyway. We use same signature both in parent and child classes. So basically that is the meaning of runtime polymorphism. In compile time polymorphism, we change the method signature but we maintain the same method name. What we change in method to method is data type or number of parameters. But when we consider in the static methods, they cannot be overridden, but they can be overloaded. Okay, let's do some practical. Okay, here is the implementation of polymorphism. Actually, here I have implemented runtime polymorphism. So you can see I have employee abstract class, clerk and manager subclasses. If I go to the employee abstract class, I have abstract method called getSalary. Notice that it is a public method. Okay, let's remove to the clerk. Here you can see I have a specific formula for getting the salary of the clerk. As well as in manager, I have a separate formula for getting the salary of manager. Okay, let's go to the application class. Here you can see I have an object from manager class and I point out it to the reference variable of employee as well as in the clerk object. Okay guys, let's do a quick analysis about what we done in runtime polymorphism practicals. We have created abstract employee class. As I mentioned in my previous tutorial, abstract class or interface cannot create objects. So if it is not an actual type or if it is a common type of actual types like employee in our example, we just take it as abstract or interface. Then we created an abstract method in abstract class. We get abstract method if that particular method has many implementations, like in our example getSalary method of employee abstract class. Then subclass which extend that abstract superclass should override the abstract method. Here in our example, manager and clerk override the getSalary method. If you see those implementations carefully, they are slightly different to each other. In my example, my parent class is an abstract class. Actually, there was a reason to take it as an abstract class. I mentioned that reason above, but your parent class can be a normal class and you can override its default or protected or public methods inside subclasses too. Okay, let's do practicals related to compile time polymorphism. Actually, compile time polymorphism is very easy. As you can see here, you can have any number of methods with the same name in the same class, but their number of input parameters or type of the input parameters or return type of the method should be different to each other. Okay, let's differentiate runtime polymorphism and compile time polymorphism. Actually, compile time polymorphism is fast execution than runtime polymorphism because compile time polymorphism happen in compilation. Next point is compile time polymorphism is not flexible, but runtime polymorphism is flexible because in runtime polymorphism we can dynamically select which method is to call next. Okay, if we move to the next point, function name is same but number of parameters and return type are changed in compile time polymorphism. If we go to the runtime polymorphism, it is function name and number of parameters are same. If we take compile time polymorphism, we need to inherit. Sorry, if we take compile time polymorphism, no need to inherit. But if we take runtime polymorphism, we need to inherit. And compile time polymorphism happen in the same class, but runtime polymorphism happen in parent and child classes. Okay, the important point is there is no restriction with access modifiers to compile time polymorphism, but there is a restriction with access modifiers to runtime polymorphism. Okay, let's look at it in detail. Restriction of access modifiers to overriding. As you can see in the left hand side picture, the parent class display method access modifier is protected, but the child class display method access modifier is private. Actually, you cannot decrease the access level of that method, but you can increase the access level of the method as I shown in the right hand side picture. So that is the restriction of access modifiers to overriding. Okay. The final point is there is no restriction with throw clause to compile time polymorphism, but there is a restriction with throw clause in runtime polymorphism. Actually, if child class method throw any exception, you have to throw that same exception in your superclass method. So those are the differences between runtime and compile time polymorphism.